Sneako's response to Critical's video is so fucking stupid, but I don't even think this guy even watched Critical's video. He doesn't even know what he's responding to.
Most Critical responded. He made a 30-something video, a 30-minute long video. I didn't really saw the length of it.
The video is 20 minutes, you fucking idiot.
And it's pretty funny because he got community noted too.
Community noted? The video is on YouTube, not on Twitter. What the fuck are you talking about?
And Morse Critical spent more time talking about me than he did about Chris Tyson, which is so funny.
He literally didn't. I don't understand. Is Sneako actually disabled? Does Sneako actually have some kind of disability? Why is he saying such easily disproven lies? I know that Sneako's friend said this exact same thing on Twitter, so maybe Sneako, for whatever reason, decided that it's better to just repeat what your friends on Twitter said instead of actually watching the video and making your own opinions. I don't know, maybe that's what Sneako did, I don't know. And also, speaking of community notes, seeing as how Sneako mentioned community notes, look who got community noted.
It's like, what did I do? He's like, oh, you talk about the age of consent.
Critical's criticism of you isn't just that you talk about the age of consent. It's that you criticize the age of consent being 18, and then whenever someone asks you, what do you think the age of consent should be, you can't give a concrete answer.
Age of consent should be maturity. It's not even 18 in most states. Why do you even believe that? It's because in Hollywood, it's 18, so that gets pushed everywhere. Most places, 16. And if you question that, then they call you a pedo. I believe the age of consent is age of maturity.
What the f does that even mean? What the f is age of maturity? It's like, okay, fine. It's like, I understand the criticism that, oh, well, what's the difference between an 18-year-old and a 17-year-old that's 11 months? It's like, yeah, there isn't a big difference. But when it comes to age of consent, you need a hard line. You need a concrete hard line where you can see, okay, this is okay, this isn't okay. Because if you don't have a hard line, then you get this bullshit age of maturity, which can literally mean anything.
It should be called the age of marriage. Age of consent implies that you're gonna have out of wedlock. I think it's better that people get married at 16, 17 than to have a bunch of premarital until they're 30 and they're washed up and then they get jaded and they're on birth control and they have dried up eggs.
So for anyone who doesn't know, replacing age of consent with age of marriage literally means that the wife gives consent to the husband once during the marriage ceremony, and after that ceremony, the husband never has to ask for consent ever again. Meaning that the husband can literally force himself on his wife if he wants to, and that's not gonna be considered rape. There are certain places in the world, like India, where raping your wife isn't illegal. And that's actually how things used to be for the majority of human history. And that is what Sneako is saying, what he wants when he says age of marriage.
This is not an important conversation.
No, it's a super, you don't think kids are not as an important conversation? What do you think the age of consent should be? If you want to be consistent, you don't think anything updates, just tell us what you think it should be.
I think it should be past at a developed age, Dustin.
What is a developed age? If you had to set a law for it, what would you set it? What would you set it about?
I'd say it's a developed age.
No, answer the question, you fucking pussy. Holy shit, you're such a cowardly fuck. Stand up for what you believe in. If you actually are Muslim, you're actually Islamic or whatever, then stand up for your beliefs. Every other Muslim scholar online will do this. Do it. Stand tall on it. Don't act like a little pussy in here trying to grill XQC on modern meta ethics or whatever. If you want to answer basic questions about your worldview, what should the age of consent be?
Do you see how
you want to answer the question? You see how he's going to yap and not answer the question? I'm going to ask the same thing when you're done. Go ahead.
I just answered the question. I just told
you.
What
was the age?
I just told you at a developed age.
Sneako thinks you should be able to 9-year-olds.
Exactly. Sneako does think that you should be able to fuck 9-year-olds because the Prophet Muhammad fucked a 9-year-old. And the reason why Sneako can never give you a concrete age and he always brings up this bullshit age of maturity, age of development, is because when you say the stupid shit, you're creating a loophole where you can say that, oh, well, this 9-year-old is actually pretty mature for her age, so it's okay for me to fuck her. It's like that's what he's doing when he's using these vague terms. This is exactly why we need a hard, concrete line when it comes to age of consent, because otherwise, people like Sneako are gonna make up excuses as to why it's okay for them to fuck kids.
Because I believe it should be the age of marriage. I believe the age of consent too. That's another tool that's used to promote sex out of wedlock. That's another tool to encourage us to have frivolous sex.
You don't need to encourage people to have sex. People will just sleep with each other if they have the opportunity to do so. People do not want to commit to a lifelong relationship with someone just so that they can have sex. That's never happening. The women don't want that and the men don't want that either. This age of marriage bullshit is never happening.
The more sex you have, the more deviant you want to go.
Says the guy that's literally making pro-pedophile arguments.
You shouldn't do it. You should avoid it. You should abstain from that until you get married. You should keep your life force inside of you. The more you ejaculate, you're just getting weaker and dumber. The more girls you have sex with, the more you attach your mind to ego.
That's why you have to do what Sneako did and not have sex with women, but instead sit and watch other guys f your girlfriend.
And the most critical is like, Sneako, you say that the age of consent is, what do you think it is? I don't know. What do you think it is?
You don't know? You don't know? It's like, see, he never has an answer to this question. He never gives you a concrete answer because he wants to leave it open and make it possible for grown men to f kids. That's why.
Tell me. You think it's 18? It's only 18 in something like 10 states. The rest of it's 17, 16. Around the world, it's 16. A lot of places, 14, 15. So what do you think it is? Is everybody in the world a pedophile? Japan, they just changed it from 13 to 16. Were they pedophiles before then?
Yes. Yes, they were. Unironically, yes, they were. 14? 14, suka? Are you f***ing stupid? Yes, if you f*** a 14-year-old, you are 100% a pedophile. I don't care if it's legal or illegal. You are a f***ing pedophile. What kind of f***ing dumbass question even is this, you f***ing moron? Do you think 14? Do you think we're pedophiles for fucking 14-year-olds? Yes. Yes.
What's the consistency?
Consistency, you f***ing idiot. Consistency? If you really want to talk about consistency, doesn't it tell you anything that literally the age of consent has been rising all over the world, including in Muslim countries, and yet your dumbass is literally advocating for a position that would make it possible for grown men to fuck actual children, prepubescent children? That doesn't fucking tell you anything about consistency? Oh, because the entire world doesn't agree on one fucking topic, therefore what? It doesn't mean anything? Age of consent doesn't mean anything to you, fucking moron?
And if you think it's 18, if she's 17 years old, 354 days and 59 seconds, whatever, are you a pedophile then? Like right then? And as soon as the clock hits, is that what it is? No.
Obviously not. I explained this. You need a hard line. You need a hard line because otherwise you're gonna have reports like this that advocate for fucking kids and why it's okay because the child is actually very mature. That's why you need a hard line.
That's such a stupid way to think this is a blanket statement. Because why?
Because of people like you, and people like EDP, and people like Chris Tyson, and people like Mohammed. It's because of people like you. That's why we need these hard lines.
In Hollywood movies, they say it's 18, so everybody believes it's 18 in America, and that gets shoved across the world. But the reality is the law does not determine that. Across the world, it's different.
It's not that different. 18 and 16 is not that far apart. And the fact that everywhere in the world, in Muslim countries, in Japan, the age of consent has been risen to 16 or 18, that literally tells you that, yeah, you know what, people gained more information to realize that, you know what, yeah, it's probably not a good idea to let people fuck girls that are below the age of 16.
So don't go and tell me, like, you don't know what the age of consent is. You don't know either. Nobody knows what it is.
What the f do you mean no one knows what it is? Suka, we decide as a society what the age of consent should be. We as humans decide. And we decided that, yeah, you know what, we don't want to let kids get fucked.
What we should do is promote marriage. We should tell people that you should avoid teenage, early, premarital, all that premarital sex. Stay away from that. Get married young, have a lot of children, and fear God. That's a society that I want to live in.
Then why are you living in Miami, you f***ing retard? Isn't Miami literally the most sinful, degenerate city in America currently as I speak? I think it used to be Los Angeles, but from what I heard, everyone moves to Miami. Why do you live in Miami? Go to a fucking Muslim country if that's where you want to live. Why are you in America in Miami? That's where I want to live, but I'm not actually going to live where I say that I want to live. I'm going to live in Miami. I'm going to live next to a bunch of whores.
And that's what they don't talk about when they try to, put these stupid allegations on me. It's not even allegations, it's just a dumb argument. You have no argument, and so you try to latch onto that.
He didn't even watch Critical's video, and yet he somehow responded to it. And then now at the very end, he says, oh, he doesn't even have an argument. You didn't even watch the video. Sneako ignores every single argument that people levy at him. Every single one. I've seen this happen so many times whenever Destiny would debate this retard. He just ignores everything that Destiny says and pretends that Destiny just talks fast and doesn't say anything. Anyway, f*** Sneako, I hope everyone realizes that the position that he advocates for are literally pro-file positions. If Sneako had it his way, grown men would literally be getting married to very young girls and f***ing them as much as they want, and the girls wouldn't be able to refuse. And Sneako would say that that's okay because they're married. That's the world that Sneako wants. That's his positions. And he's never gonna admit it because he's too much of a coward.